Today we're going to talk about anxiety amongst gamers and treating people like you would treat a character in a game. But first, let me just tell you a story, right? A true story. It's not necessarily game related, right? Well, it is game related, but this could happen whether you watch telly, play games, whatever. The key point is it's the same symptoms: sitting on the couch, not doing anything. Now, one guy walks into my work hospital, backache, really, he's in massive agony, he's got massive anxiety, and he said that to me as he walked in. And I said, "You're a gamer, aren't you?" And he goes, "Yeah." "How did you know?" I says, "Oh, just a hunch." And he says, "Has you got a console, yeah? And you sit on your couch a lot, yeah?" I says, "That's why he got backache." 12 hours later, when he came out of A&E, he said the doctor said the same thing you did. It's me playing games too much. You see? And I know that because I've been there. This isn't me having any special medical knowledge. I've just been there and I recognise the symptoms, the anxiety, the backache. It's just bad for you sitting in one place too long. It doesn't matter if you're playing games or watching telly, it's bad for you. But gamers are rigid. They sit there not moving for ages, twiddling their thumbs or moving the mouse. And it's even worse for gamers. I mean, I like to have a comfy chair, but even a comfy chair becomes uncomfortable after 12 hours. You do it too often, then you will develop a health problem, physical pain. Now, if you're cut off from people, if you don't see people, either because you don't like crowds, or maybe, for instance, you don't see many people of colour, and then you see one and you start treating them differently. That's racism right there. Whether you intended it or not, that's racism right there. Because you're not familiar with crowds, you're not familiar with people. So you develop an anxiety when you get close to them. Cutting yourself off from them by playing games encourages that anxiety, it makes it worse. So what you have to do, you have to detox yourself. You have to get out there and face your fears. You have to go into crowded rooms. You have to talk to people. You have to learn those social skills. So when they come close to you, when a crowd of people are surrounding you, you're not having a bit of a meltdown. You're not struggling. You're not crying. You're not feeling anxious. Now, what happens if you don't? What happens if you just double down on the gaming and watching the telly and you don't go out? Well, most men know not to push it with other men because they know they'll get punched. It's a male thing. This is why men are a little bit more under control than women are. Right? And I say that from experience. It's my job to deal with violent people. So when I say women are more violent than men, pardon my French, but I mean it. Right? But men tend to hold back. They might gob off, but they'll hold back. The anxiety thing, right, makes that more likely. Makes it more likely that someone will lash out because it's a fight or flight response to a mental health issue which is caused by playing on a game too much. Women, on the other hand, they think they're immune because men don't hit women, so they're entitled to hit men. And then the man has to defend himself from a woman that's trying to kill him. Now, I've had it done to me, and I've had to physically restrain women at work, quite a lot actually. It's surprising how much, because they've never learned chivalry, they've never learned to get hands off, they always think they can get a punch in and won't be punched back. But this is all mental health. It's massively caused by anxiety. It's a symptom. They start treating people in ways that you should never treat another human being. And then they make their anxiety worse because they're not getting along with anybody. They're falling out with their friends, with their family. Then suddenly, right, what the UN call a mental health issue amongst gamers applies to them. Right? It applies to them. So it's important that you detox yourself, that you do get out there, you do mix with your friends, you do go to places with crowds, and you do it often enough so you get used to it. Right? It's like I said, if you see a person of colour and you're thinking, I have to treat them differently because they're not the same colour as me, that's racism. But if you see them often enough, you will stop thinking that way. You'll start seeing them as normal, right? It's just a normal person doing normal things. You won't see them as different in any way. And that's where you've got to get to. So you've got to get off that couch. That is the first thing. That will stop the pain. You've got to do stretches, exercises, move around. We were born to stand up, not sit down. As human beings, we were born to walk, not sit in our butts for 12 hours a day. It's a very unnatural thing. In a way, if you were to play your game standing up, it'd be better for you than playing your game sitting down. So learn first of all, stand up, go out, meet people, face your fears, face that anxiety, make it normal for you to be around people, in crowds, stood up, get an exercise, and make the gaming something you do when you're tired and you just want to chill, right? Because if you don't, you will develop long-term health issues. You will have a mental health issue. This anxiety will become a problem and you will cut yourself off from society and you'll end up in a serious bad spot. Probably being dealt with by somebody like me at work. See you in the next one.